Hello, my darlings, and welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to talk about my recovery journey from people pleasing, my empath healing journey. And I want to share it because I want to validate other people in the community, other fabulous empaths, healers, spiritually aware and hypervigilant people, calculated ADHDers, and everybody in between who have been aware since birth, aware since as long as they can remember that everything was going to be okay on the other side of all the suffering, pain, and challenges of Earth School. And I wanted to validate you guys because I understand how weird it is right now connecting and how weirdly lonely it is and isolating it is where we're at right now. And I want to explain some of my journey because I know that not everybody understands what they're going through. I didn't even understand what I was going through while I was going through it. There's still aha moments that I have. So I want people to recognize that what happened to them is very, very natural. It's all a part of healing. It's also a part of ascension. I think right now there are enough voices in the spiritual community talking about the predictions for the ascension process. So what's coming up still? This really intense carrot is being dangled in front of our faces in the spiritual community right now of keep looking to the future. Here's all of our ideas about the answer. And we're just going to keep putting our contentness and our happiness and our hope into the future. This dangly, fabulous carrot. One of these days, the solar flash is coming. And so, not to disrespect any of that information, but I think there's definitely enough of that information happening right now. I have my own insights and visions and understandings of what God told me is happening, but I don't think I need to sit here and put another video out about exactly how that's going to happen. What I want to do is talk more about the reality of the boots on the ground spiritual process that we're all going through right now to help validate everyone. Because that's what I'm looking for right now. As a shaman, as a woman, as somebody going through this spiritual growth and ego death, crazy bullshit that this is, I'm looking for validation personally. And because I'm looking for that, just other people speaking about their journey and the difficulties it has been in real time, but where they're at now, standing content and steady with knowledge and wisdom, that's what I'm looking for. So that's what I also want to give. Because I don't want to assume you're starting from scratch. I never want to assume you don't know anything about yourself and that you don't know where you're going and you don't know what your mission is and you haven't done any work. I never want to assume that. I assume that you found my page because there is an awareness in you. There's already work that you have done. And so this video is really, really for the empaths. It's really for the healers. It's for the shamans. It's for the starseeds. It's for all the aware and conscious people doing the shadow work. And so I just want to validate you. And talk about how weird these times are connecting right now, which is crazy because we have the biggest hearts. Let's just talk about how freaking weird that is. We have the biggest hearts. We have the biggest love. And it's still really isolated and lonely and weird, even though it's getting better also at the same time. So I come from living in a family of 6 people with all low functioning IQs, high disabilities, mental and physical, high mental health, high emotional needs, and I was the highest functioning out of us all. So, respectfully, I developed quite the white knight savior bullshit complex because of conditioning, but also because that was my role in the family, being the highest functioning. I had to ensure that everybody was okay at all times. I had to co-regulate with everybody, especially when you're born as an empath. You have this heart and this feeling for everyone because you know their potential. You can feel the other side of their healing within them. You know that once they get through this suffering and this challenge and this earth school bullshit chapter, that they have the potential to be so amazing, so okay, so wise, so grounded, so awesome. And we're carrying like that potential, the distance between what's happening now and that potential. We're carrying all that hope and healing. We're also expected to make sure everyone is okay. We're expected as an empath. You walk into a room and you've been assigned the volunteer therapist role. Everyone's going to bring their problems to you. You're going to listen to them. You're going to take them in and take them on. And then they're going to feel lighter after because they just dumped at you. And you happily carried that shit like a badge of honor. Now you carry that badge of honor because you helped that person. You feel so good. That selflessness of helping that person was so awesome. So respectfully though, that shit almost killed us. It almost killed us to be empaths, just bleeding our love out and our heart out for everybody all the freaking time with no boundaries. And people pulled from us like a freaking well of energy that was just endless and tapped into it like it was free for them. And it was. Because we just gave. We didn't know what else to do, being who we were. So it's been a rough journey. If you're anything like myself as an empath, you've been trying to save everyone since day one. You've been trying to help everyone feel some sort of moment of happiness or content since day one. So that's a lot of giving. That's a lot of giving energy and a lot of not receiving equally, just to put it out there. We know we haven't received equally. We know we were the listener that we always wanted and never had. We know we gave because that is the generosity we wished we could have received at certain points, but never will and never did. So here's our love. So I know it was all with good intentions that we just gave and gave and gave our love. And it was all in spiritual duty. When you look back, when you think about it, love was never wasted. There was not a drop of generosity and love and giving and people pleasing that was ever wasted. It was all for the lesson. And then, you've been set up to do that. So all your friendships and relationships since reflect a lot of advantage taking nature. And eventually it does affect the battery. It does affect the battery. Just people endlessly taking and taking and taking and treating you like a doormat. And then respectfully, your friends come to even expect you to be a doormat. So some of the craziest things I experienced as a recovering people pleaser was the more I helped people, the more dependent they came on me to help them. And then the more they didn't respect me. So that happens a lot. That empath shit, like, oh, I'll just rip the shirt off of my own back, even though I'm in a freaking storm myself, and I'll just make sure I have nothing, but just make sure you're floating. And people don't respect you for that. At a point, they think that you must think that you're a doormat. Even though you don't think you're a doormat, but they think you must think you are. So then there's that. So I've experienced even like the people that I've given the most to, like respectfully, will not name names, but I have had many friendships. But this, I'm going to give an example of one of many. I had a friendship of over 20 years from childhood. And the dynamic was so imbalanced. I did so much for her, overdid so much for her out of guilt and shame, just from my background, like having to always take care of somebody. So did it through every chapter and every hard phase of my life, just took care of this whole other individual and adult and this girl in every possible way possible. And the payback, like what I get in return, was her putting me down in front of her other friends and talking shit about me behind my back at every opportunity to her family for 20 years, talking shit about me so that her family would hate on her a little less. I was used as a pawn for somebody I gave 20 years of my life, didn't have a relationship for my own self, even because of this relationship, because of how much I had to take care of her and this individual. And then what I got in return was, fuck this bitch, behind my back to her family. And then she would come talk to me about it and tell me, hey, this is how me and my family talked crap about you behind your back. But it's so that they don't hate on me as much. It's okay because my family won't be as mad at me. So I throw you under the bus so that I can have some relief and reprieve. So like that's the type of things that happen to the empath, to the unhealed empath who overgives. Oh, honey, we are under the bus. Under the bus. And then I was expected to laugh about it. Like cherry on top of the craziness that was. And I didn't even realize that was wrong to do to me, because that's how taken advantage I had been and how shitty I had been treated in the past by my own family, that I had to laugh at how I was shit talked behind my back by people that I'd known for a very long time, and that I bent over backwards to try and help and take care of. Because I didn't just help my friend. I helped her whole family. I helped her siblings. I helped with so many things that I won't go into. It's just respectfully, like, just the awareness sometimes of how much it can come back on you when it's not balanced, when you don't have self-respect and boundaries, and you just are expected to overgive. Then you're also expected to take the beating as well. So respectfully, don't worry. We ended those relationships. We ended all the toxic cycles. But I wanted to talk about it because this has been in only the last couple years that I've ended these extremely toxic cycles. So the healers and the empaths also always feel bad for these people and feel like, oh no, like poor them. There's still a reason why they're treating me like shit. So it's been a rough road for us. It's been a really, really hard spiritual road, learning discernment, learning the difference between somebody who is actually grateful and who actually needs help, and who is actually just spinning their tires, self-sabotaging on their lesson and trying to take advantage of anybody so that they can stay stuck in that part of their lesson. There's so much to discern, because everybody is worthy of healing and everybody is worthy of love. And so to get to the point where I had to stop giving and just let God take over with all these individuals was a really, really hard place for me to learn and get to. So I feel that for other healers. I feel that for other ascending people right now and empaths. Like, we have really gone through this ringer, and we still want to give. So in this process of realizing that the more you try to save people from their own saving themselves, the more that they come to resent you, because they really deep down want to save themselves, and people don't want someone outside of them to save them. And that's okay. And then getting that in our head, as a support, as a shaman, as a healer, it really, really came to that important learning for me that I am not trying to heal anybody. I am just trying to inspire healing. I am just trying to demonstrate it and role model that it is possible to save yourself. And then in saving myself, I had to realize, damn, I'm a people pleaser. And I put too much energy into that, because it always just comes back as disrespect. And I'm not trying to disrespect myself or these people by trying to be their community or support them. So it's been really hard. It's been really hard for us. I know. I see you. I hear you, and I'm here. And I went from being somebody who was friends with everybody and had all the friends and constantly had people like, hey, let's hang out. Hey, let's hang out. Hey, let's hang out, to the point where it stressed me out as a people pleaser, trying to be friends with everybody, make time for everybody, even as a single mom, especially as a single mom. And especially when none of these people wanted to hang out with you and like me and my child. They just wanted to pull from my source. So they only want to hang out with me, not me and my kid. So then that was like, oh, me divided even more. And then not taking care of my own house, my own son, me and myself, because a bunch of adults needed me to people please them. I word it like that because that was how the demand feels. Like the guilt you feel when you're being called as an empath is so intense. Like to go help people with their problems and to go validate them and to go be volunteer therapist, voluntold, all honestly too, because people would actually joke about it. I would go to parties with like big groups of my friends and they'd be like, oh, the voluntold therapist is here. You have no choice. You're going to listen to our problems. It turned into a running joke. Like, I don't know if you know that life too, but like if you're the running joke of being the voluntold trauma dump space for your entire friend group and none of them check on you to see if you're okay, it's extra. It's extra healing from that level of trauma dumping. And respectfully, because everybody feels relief after they get to dump on you, they do not realize that that's what they're doing to you. Also, just going to say, because the longer you let people treat you like that too, the less self-aware they are, realizing they're just dumping on you and taking your energy. So, and you're not even getting paid. Not even getting paid. Like I've been a therapist all through this, and no, I wasn't getting paid for most of my work, for 99% of my work. Okay, so then there's that. And then there's this place in the last little while, especially in the last year and a half since my dad passed and transitioned, because he's been really teaching me about the balance of energy. He was one of the original takers of my energy. And so he's been really teaching me about putting myself first, finally. And it's such a crazy idea for an empath and a healer to put ourselves first, because that was never the conditioning. That was never the training. No, it was put ourselves last. Actually, remove ourselves completely from the burners. There's no back burner. And so to put ourselves first, and then to learn that if we get to that point and we put ourselves first, we're actually going to be even better at caring about the people around us, because then our cup is going to be full. Our cup is going to be taken care of. We're not just going to be empty all the time, giving from a place of guilt. We're going to be giving from a place of, yes, I have the excitement, energy, and willingness and wisdom to do so. But that mindset shift is a flipping journey, 33 years of a journey of just realizing that people pleasing is what almost killed me 1,000 times in this life. And what would have all those people that I was trying to please and save, what would they have done if I did die? If they had tapped my energy fully, because there's so many times I walked that line, and then all of a sudden I wouldn't be here anymore to do all the things for them and save them. What would they have done if I would have pushed myself to that point? And it's crazy because sometimes it feels like everyone around you, especially if they're toxic, it's like they want you to get to that point. That's what it feels like. When your freaking cup is empty of giving to just takers and toxic people who refuse to patch up their own fucking cup at the bottom, and they just want to be an endless thing to pour into, this endless well. If they refuse to patch their own, and they refuse to fill their own cup, and they only rely on you filling it for validation, you telling them they're going to be okay, you telling them how amazing they are, it feels like they want you to suffer at a point because they're suffering. And a lot of the time, suffering people, like misery loves company. They kind of do want you to suffer with them. Ugh. So when you get to this point, like I have in the last year and a half, of just like wanting to be happy, and my dad being like, no, it's about you. Like, you have put literally everybody before you. Can we just try a chapter in your life where you put you first? And damn, did I ever lose a lot of fucking people. Like, I lost all of my friends. Like, not all of them, but most of them. And I've had to go on breaks and have boundaries with most of them. And it's freaking lonely and weird now because I'm just putting myself first. I'm not doing anything wrong. I'm not doing anything mean to anybody. But a lot of people are acting and have acted like it. It's really interesting to see like how much people were getting away with taking advantage of you as soon as you start putting up boundaries. When you really start putting up boundaries and being like, hey, sorry, no, I can't right now. Hey, sorry, no, I have to just focus on me right now. There's something I need to heal. There's stuff I need to do. I can't come to your rescue. I'm coming to my rescue. When you really start coming to your own rescue and patching up your own, realizing that you're the energy source, you're the awesomeness, you're the reason why you feel so good with other people and why they feel so good with you. When you start realizing it's you and you pour your own love into yourself, the standards go up, the discernment goes up, bullshit detectors are on, lies will not cross you. Excuses don't feel the same. Handouts and people asking for your help doesn't feel the same. Like, you just realize, like, wow, no, I deserve this right now. And actually, everyone else is going to be okay. That's like the biggest thing for the empath and for the healer. It's like when you start putting yourself first and you realize, like, everybody else is actually going to be okay. They're still going to survive, and they're actually going to be forced to really, really chew on and learn the lessons of life when you're not coming to take that lesson from them. You're not helping them spiritually bypass that lesson by just doing it for them and not letting them suffer or not letting them be challenged. They're actually growing. They're actually met with their own lesson because you're not just stealing it from them. Because a lot of us, that's kind of what we want to do, is we don't want them to suffer. So we're just taking that opportunity for them to love themselves or learn self-care or learn they need to go to counseling or, like expand their own community or their own natural or professional supports. Like, we can take those lessons from people when we're trying to save them. And so then we realize, oh my God, they're actually going to be okay. And that's crazy. It's a crazy thing. That's why I'm talking about it, because I hadn't heard it for myself from an empath or other healers. Like, it's crazy to actually realize everyone else is going to be okay while you make sure you're okay. The world is going to wait. The world can wait. Literally, all those people we were people pleasing can wait. And if the world and their life crashes and set fire because you didn't come save them, it was gonna anyway. And you're just the thing that prolongs and enables it. And actually, in that time, shit can get worse and then make the implosion or explosion even worse than it would have been. So then there's that. And then you go through the phase of righteous anger. And anger comes in, like how all these people for so long have been treating you like crap, treating you like a doormat and taking advantage of you. And then the anger comes in because you just need to feel angry for yourself because it's freaking valid. But that shit's uncomfortable because it feels like grief. It feels like loneliness. It feels sometimes like you were the problem. You were at fault. Because in some parts, like in the part that we are going to be accountable for, we were creating that reality. We were recreating that like anxious chaos suffering around us because it's all we knew. So we're going to pull in and surround ourselves with people who reinforce that crazy. So in part, we're going to be accountable for that. But in reality, the mirror that they were giving us as we heal doesn't resonate anymore. And you just get angry of like, wow, I didn't take advantage of anybody else while I was suffering. And you realize I didn't treat anybody the way they treated me. I didn't expect endless validation from external sources like they did from me. Like you just start getting the perspective, right? And then you start looking at people as capable adults. Oh, that's another layer. Like, oh wait, you're a capable adult. So then the anger comes in. It's like a forest fire because it has to reset everything and allow for new growth internally. So you're going to feel pissed off and fucked up for a minute. I felt pissed off and fucked up for a minute. I felt betrayed. I felt abandoned. Betrayal was probably the biggest thing I felt in my righteous anger. Mad betrayal. Just like, how could these people really, really not see how they were hurting me and how they weren't meeting me halfway? That was my biggest anger, was how could I love these people, especially two of my best friends that I called my best friends? How could they treat me so poorly? And I'm just sitting there doing as much as I can for them, and the betrayal. So you got to go through that, and that shit's really lonely. And then it feels like for a while, everybody new coming in because you just want love. You just want new friends. And in that weird, gross time of like shedding the people pleasing freaking self, it's like you're hyper vigilant of everyone new coming in. And I hate to say it because I felt so judgmental during that time. And I'm not a judgmental bitch. I'm a glass house. I don't throw stones. But I felt the most judgmental that I had ever felt in my entire life. I don't like that feeling. But it was a self-protective measure. And it was real. And I deserved it. My inner child deserved it. My inner child who didn't know discernment and was just lovingly entrusting everyone that came into my circle because I'm just built and made of love. So I expected what I would give in return. All of that distrust in all those people that had hurt you comes through that phase, and you're just like, no. This person, they mess up, no. Like all the red flags, you see them. All the bullshit detectors are on high. And everyone new coming in during this weird time of putting yourself first, you're aware they don't resonate because it's the old life testing you. It's the old frequency. It's the old patterns. It's the old understanding coming to test you. Hey, are you going to slip back into your old life? Are we going back? Are we going back? And the universe has to test you, a few times. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel fucking good at all, but we're being tested in our discernment to make sure that we're not just going to invite another new friend who's just going to repeat the frickin' pattern of us people pleasing again. So the tests happen and those frickin' suck, but here we are. And I'm consciously trying to remember while I'm in it, I'm being tested. But that's also annoying because that doesn't also feel easy all the time to remind yourself while you're in it that you're being tested. Let's just talk about that for a frickin' second. Oh, easier said than done. Let's just say, right? So we can do that so much easier in hindsight. Sorry. My dress is falling down. We want to make sure. This is my Marilyn Monroe dress. I'm inspired by her and her energy lately. So that's what we're doing. Anyway, sidebar, squirrel, ADHD. So then we're judgmental. We feel judgmental, which feels yucky for an empath because you just also want to accept everybody. So great. I'm judgmental now. And that doesn't make me happy with myself. But at the same time, my inner child's like, excuse me, bitch, I want this and I need this. So it's also a loving act this discernment, this fire you set to your people-pleasing self. And then on the other side, and going through that, you start realizing like, no, my heart has always been good. And I want to be open. I want my heart to be soft. Then there's like sadness and grief and just this wave of like craving and recraving in a new but familiar way connection again. And so then these new formations, these new connections start growing, but slowly and differently than ever before. And that's what I'm noticing now is after massive ego death and remembering of who I am, these new friendships feel solid in a different way. Like I have literally manifested a new best friend, and her birthday is a day before mine. We're both Leos. And I realized, I'm like, fuck, that's why I love her so much. That's why I like this new friend in my life, because she mirrors back to me some fabulous, confident, healed Leo energy. And her self-belief mirrors mine. That feels on my frequency. She doesn't need me to save her. And our relationship happened organically at a place that I show up all the time. My relationship, organic and natural, right? We're not forcing it. We don't have to seek it out so hard and like think that it's somewhere hidden in a mystery place. No. These relationships now come to us super naturally, organically, and confidently and slower, but in this way that feels like this is real. This is a real friendship. This foundation is healthy. And especially because I met her in this place and in this mind of harsh, judgmental feelings or whatever, but she's the one who passed the gates. Like when I was going through this like weird time of shedding and grief from losing like two of my best girlfriends, this girl just seems to shine through my little clouds, and sees nothing but the awesomeness in me, and I see nothing but the awesomeness in her while I'm going through these times. And we're not judging each other. We have the space for the humanness. We can tell that it's authentic as we speak. We can tell we wish the best for each other and that we're not competing. And that's the biggest thing between ladies, especially. I have lost so many lady friends due to competition. And I am not competing with anyone. I come from a family of ladies with disabilities, and there's no such thing as jealousy. It's not allowed. I beat it out of me a long time ago. I wasn't allowed to be jealous. And that's actually one of the things I'm very grateful for, because I think jealousy and envy are some of the most toxic feelings that we can feel towards each other. And they're not helpful. They're not helpful feelings. That's why we have to actively alchemize those ones, especially because it turns into projections and bullshit so fast. And so for me, I'm not competing with any woman. I never have been, and I never will. And so when you have girlfriends that come to you and compete with you, that's the most toxic, dangerous relationships you can have, woman to woman. And that's almost always what ended up happening with all my ex-girlfriends. Competition. Ew. We only compete with ourselves. That's what I definitely know from this life journey, is that I am not competing with anybody. I am only competing with myself to be the best version of myself. And I only, as a Leo, want to cheer on everybody doing the same. My thoughts are in your best interest and in my own best interest. That's not jealousy. There's no space for that. And I have this fabulous new relationship with this woman who hasn't shown me an ounce of jealousy, because I lift her up and she lifts me up, and we're not competing. But we're both really beautiful girls. That's another thing I noticed too, is that she's super beautiful, super healthy. So she doesn't need to freaking compete with me on anything. She just honors the beauty of another woman. That's why women need to heal, especially. That's why empaths and women need to heal, because that gross competition isn't going to help any of us reach the ascension finish line. Sisters and brothers, respectfully, fuck your competition, because it's only you. That was another hard lesson to learn as a freaking recovering people pleaser. Gosh darn. And I also didn't realize that me going above and beyond was cueing other people to compete with that. Ugh, in all the ways that we didn't realize. So it's weirdly lonely. It's weirdly isolating having come through the recovery people pleasing process. But damn, is it worth it? Because I know for a fact our communities and our spiritual communities and the healing that's going to happen with the world, through the world, moving forward and at this time is going to come from really grounded places. If this is my experience, making new friendships and connecting with new beautiful women who just love me for me and accept me for me and aren't competing with me, if I'm experiencing it and I've experienced a lifetime of toxic bullshit from relationships, respectfully trying to save everyone, then I know this is true and going to be true for everyone else too. It's all about timing. It's an unfolding. I'm not saying everyone's going to go through this at the same time, but I know that our communities are going to be stronger and healthier and better because this is what's happening right now. The old empath has ego deathed times 1,000 and is now coming into the spiritual community much more grounded, much more realistic, much more available, and better boundaried up, so that I don't have to feel resentful, so that I don't feel guilty, and so that I'm not projecting that at you anymore in my connections as well. So I'm proud of us. I know I'm not the only one going through this. I know there are other amazing spiritually aware people who have gone through so much people-pleasing recovery, so much empath recovery, and are weirdly fucking lonely now. Weirdly fucking lonely, but at the same time, it's with so much love. I'm just like, finally, I am the version of myself that I want to give friendships, because I'm not saving anybody anymore. I just want to love, and I just want to be loved. There's no saving. I'm totally here to support and help. I still have all of those skills I gained from all of that life experience. That's the best part, is you're going to have all of those skills from all of that people pleasing that you did. You're going to keep all that, but we're going to share it now with people who can appreciate it, see it, understand it, and give it back. That is this beautiful, healed place that our communities are coming from now. And it's amazing. So very proud of all the hard work. I also spoke to all that because I want everyone to know, I know how much hard work it really is. That's a nutshell of my experience, right? But I just don't want to make this a 10-hour video. But like hundreds, if not thousands, I have experienced connections now of people pleasing and learning from it. And so it was not without great purpose and intention that God wanted me to know myself that way and to know myself now this way. So I know that's true for you too. Take all of that learning and use it for our future generations, our beautiful children, up and coming children, our up and coming communities, these amazing spiritual communities that we know are right around the corner. Right around the corner, guys. Predictive stuff on the back burner. Just saying, this is where we are now and where we are headed. So much healthier. And I'm proud of you. And I'm proud of myself. So keep doing the good work. Keep recovering from all the bullshit. Keep that boots on the ground spiritual attitude that you know every action you take in this realm is 100% adding to the change, to the shift, to your ascension. Every breath, every time you slow down to remember your breath, you are helping this world heal. Every empath and people pleaser, recovering people pleaser healing is helping this world. So keep healing it. Keep putting yourself first in a very healthy way. And I say that to the people who if you know, you know. If you're taking that as, oh, I need to be more selfish and I've already been putting myself first and I need to keep doing that as if some sort of like feeding narcissism bullshit, you know the difference. You can feel the difference. So much love to all of you. Keep putting yourself first with love so that you can put everyone in your circle first with you, not just them first and you behind. You first, so that they can all get the best of you. With so much love. Have a fabulous day, darlings.